All right. So, like I said, we'll talk about like just your experience generally about how you moved from Nigeria to Canada. So, I mean, little background, and then I want to share like how did you get the idea that you can actually live? Because occasionally mom get the email even from there was a guy that was already completing his PhD. Only could ever occur see he can study like abroad, and more I understand that, especially if you are doing something like master's, PhD, and you're engrossed, you are not a social media person. Social media these days allow people to have information that they would rather not have at their disposal.
Yeah.
So if you are not a social media person, where do you want it to even hear that you can study abroad?
Yeah.
So okay.
So
So to start with, so can you just introduce yourself?
yeah.
Like, who are you?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm Timileyin Oguntuyaki,
Okay.
and I'm a graduate student at the Memorial University of Newfoundland, here, St. John's, Canada.
Okay.
So what else would you like to know about me?
Yeah. So, so you're doing your master's?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And then I'm aware that that's your, second master's.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay. So that means you are enjoying your studies in Canada.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah. So while in Nigeria, so let's start from the beginning. Then we'll move it. We'll move the post until the present moment. So while you were in Nigeria, you did your. What course did you study in Nigeria?
So I did applied geology.
Okay.
From FUTA,
Okay.
in Nigeria.
All right. And after you finished, did you do the national service?
Oh yes, I did it. I worked as a graduate assistant at the Department of Earth Sciences, Olabisi Onabanjo University in Ogun State.
Okay. So at what point did it occur to you that you want to start processing your application to study in Canada?
You see, the word scholarship itself, I will take you like 10 years back now.
Okay.
The word scholarship to me has been, how would I say, it's a dream come true for me. And I had started experiencing it since 2011. So before I went to FUTA for my applied geology degree, I had been to the Federal Polytechnic Ede, where I studied science laboratory technology. So that was the first time I think I felt that having good CGPA or doing well in your studies might bring some positive results or give you some incentive at least. So then I think my mates were supposed to resume ND1, they call it ND in the Polytechnic, around September, October. But unfortunately, the Nigerian factor happened to me and I couldn't get in, even though I passed very well. I passed the post-jam very well. So I got in around January the following year. So I was about 2 months away from writing the first semester exams. So eventually, long story short, I'm cutting it short now. So I got the highest CGPA in my first year in the Polytechnic, and then I was called upon by the rector of the Polytechnic and some other people from other departments that, okay, you guys did well in your first semester and your first year, you guys did exceptionally well, and we are offering you scholarship, full one at that. So they paid our tuition, they gave us accommodation on campus, and they gave us stipend. So that was my first idea of scholarship. So I left the Federal Polytechnic in 2012 to Federal University of Technology, Akure, the same 2012, with the mindset of winning. So I already tasted what scholarship looks like. That when I entered FUTA, I was always applying for scholarship, undergraduate scholarship, all this Total EP scholarship, MTNF Foundation, and all that. I didn't win any of them, but I won at least 2 or 3. So I started enjoying scholarship early on in life, and I knew it there and then that I wasn't going to settle for anything that won't give me money. So the money in scholarship was what gave me the motivation that I would always strive to do well while I know what I'm doing. I have passion for whatever I'm studying, but I'm not just studying just for studying's sake. There would always be something good at the end of the day. So the idea of traveling abroad was when I associated with some seniors who have traveled out. So I was always looking for people on LinkedIn that finished from my school, FUTA, from my faculty, from other faculties. I was always looking for internship opportunities and ways I can contribute to my society, to my community, like volunteering, helping people do this, cleaning this up, giving tutorials and all that. So they told me that I'm doing well, that I was doing well then. And in fact, this is the path that people who have made it out of the country through scholarship. This was the path they took. So I just kept on doing that. And I started applying when I was in part 4, even though I did a 5-year program. So I was applying since I was in part 4, writing cold emails to professors in Saskatchewan, Ottawa, Memorial, and all that. So most of them were telling me my transcript. So even before I finished, I already knew that the only thing I was waiting for was my transcript. So that's the story.
Yeah, that's a really nice one, and a lot of things to learn from there. So yeah, especially now that we have social media, and it's one can easily connect with people that you've never met before, and this can really help us to ask people questions and then gain some knowledge that one would rather otherwise not have. So, and then the other thing is that you said is that one should strive to do well, because when you do well, at least for this moment in the academic realm, there's still some reward, and you can still have some financial reward in terms of scholarship. So that's really good. So your experience that you had when you were in Polytechnic was what gave you the motivation to seek out for more scholarship by doing well in your studies.
Yeah.
So all of that, then when you finish your university, then you started looking for scholarship abroad. You took it beyond the shores of your native country.
Yeah.
So can you tell us like some of the scholarships that you came to be aware of while you were trying to apply to Canada, and like tell us about the ones that you were successful in receiving the scholarships, and tell us your experiences about some of the failures and how you undo. I know maybe perhaps there were places you applied to and they give you, they send you an email telling you that they've not taken you and all of that. So how did you undo it, and how did you press on until you got what you wanted?
Thank you. So when I started applying, like I said, I started off with cold emailing. So, and for people that have done that before, they know that you don't get a response for every email you send out to professors. They are very busy people. I didn't know that until I came here. I knew that I now know that professors are very busy. So you are just doing it, just waiting for your lucky day. It is not a thing you do and you expect to get response immediately. So in those days, I started, like I said, I started with cold emails, and then I think I made a decision to draw my plans out. You know, I had many schools in mind, many countries in mind. I had the UK, USA, Germany, and Canada. Those were my four favorites. So, but I knew that I had to apply to Commonwealth scholarships for the UK. I knew very well that I was not qualified for Germany. So I knew what I was qualified for. I knew what I wanted. So for Germany, what I needed was just money for block accounts. So I was trying to bring out the requirement for each of those countries. For the US, I knew I needed to write GRE and TOEFL, but I was not ready to write those exams. So I scraped USA out of my equation. So I had only UK and then Germany and then Canada. At the end of the day, I found out that in the UK, you do your master's in 1 year, you have to go back to Nigeria and start all over again. So I was not really interested in that anymore. So I kicked that out as well. So I was left with Germany and then the UK. So I got a number of admissions in Germany.
Oh, okay.
I got a number of, but I had, in all of these stories, I had only 2 rejection letters. So the first one, that hit me really badly because I applied with so much confidence to Germany. And this was not a regular admission process. Normally, Germany will ask you to apply its free tuition, and you only need to provide money for block accounts, and that's all on you. But this particular admission was, although free tuition, but they will still give you stipend. So you really don't need any money for block account. So I went in like, this is what I want. I don't need to find any money for block account and all that. So I went in, you know, I bragged about my first class, bragged about my achievements, about my knowledge, my skills and all that. Unfortunately, I was not able to match all of these achievements with what I want to achieve in that school. So I got a rejection letter. Although it hit me really badly, but it was the beginning of my knowledge about scholarship abroad, because they gave me a very detailed, or let me something comprehensive, a comprehensive feedback. And the feedback really helped me because they stated how they evaluated my application. What mark or point was allotted to motivation letter, what point was allotted to my degree and all that. So in the aspect of degree and credentials, I found out that I made almost 100%. But when it came to the motivation letter, so I performed really woefully. And then that was the beginning of a reflection in me that, well, so this is what is really happening. Unfortunately, I had applied to the Mastercard scholarship in Canada at that time. So I would not say it was the knowledge I gained from that application that helped me with Mastercard scholarship application, but it is what is helping me to be able to mentor other people at the end of the day. So that detailed rejection letter, evaluation letter that was sent to me really helped me understand how these people evaluate applications. So that was just by the way, it's me really, because I put my mind in it that I was going to get it. Like, what do you mean? so I applied to the Mastercard scholarship, and Mastercard scholarship, then all they wanted was just, you know, year in, year out, the application is getting tougher because we have many competitive candidates coming out now. So what they just needed that time was a good CGPA and then maybe volunteering or leadership experience. And I had all that, fortunately. And I think it was that year they started interviewing candidates for selection. So normally it just needs to be submit your document and you'll be selected later on. But in our own time, they started with shortlisting candidates for interview. So I did that, and I submitted Mastercard application around November in 2018, I guess. And I submitted to that German university in December 2018. 18, the same year. So in January, I just, because I had left, emailing professors because too many ugly responses. I'm sorry, I'm not recruiting graduate students now. Oh, I'm sorry, I love your profile, but I don't have funding. Sometimes my lab is full. Sometimes I'm going on sabbatical. All of those responses were not encouraging. So I just left it somewhere. So immediately in 2019, I made a resolve that I was going to continue emailing professors. So I'm the only professor I emailed at Memorial. She just responded that, oh, I think you emailed me sometimes back that you wanted, you inquired about a lab, a position. I missed a position in my lab. And she said, okay, I think your CV is really good. Can you send me 2 reference letters? Or can you send me 2 reference contacts? So I sent the prof then 2 contacts of my lecturers at FUTA. The rest, they say, is history. So I had the 2 opportunities from Memorial and from UBC. So it happened that in the same month, in 2019, I got feedback. So at first, I got the feedback from Memorial. I was successful with the application. And later in March, for UBC, I got the same decision letter that I was successful. So I was at crossroads. I didn't know which one to pick. And then after consultations and reflection and all that, I decided to go to UBC first. Unfortunately, I deferred Memorial admission, which I am now. So yeah, I think that's all about it.
Yeah, that's really, that's a great story. So, and I think you've done really well. And there are a lot of lessons to be learned in the short is the expose that we'll call it that you just made. So things like you need to contact the supervisors. You don't know which one that will be successful, and then you need to do the applications, and when you try, you get feedbacks, and that could help you. With your present application or your future applications, or it will make you a better person. So it's good to try and do the application. So eventually you were successful and you got 2 admissions, you deferred one, you went for a Mastercard scholarship. So can we talk a little bit about Mastercard scholarship? So can you give us an overview of what the scholarship entails, and who is eligible to apply for the scholarship? What would you get if you win the scholarship? Then if is the scholarship still on? When is the application beginning, and things like that?
Okay, thank you. So Mastercard is a very robust scholarship. Everybody on campus at UBC knows that every Mastercard scholar is a baller. On campus, even off campus, people know when they see a Mastercard scholar, they know that these ones are really the government children. So Mastercard scholarship is actually for candidates from sub-Saharan Africa. So it's not actually for all Africans, just from sub-Saharan Africa, and of course Nigeria inclusive. So, and I think the minimum requirement is being from sub-Saharan Africa and then having at least a 2-1 in your first degree, and then having rich developmental leadership and service experience. What I mean by service is you doing everything possible within your limit, within your power, to make life easier for other people in your local community. And you have, even if you have just been a choir coordinator in your church, you have been a leader in your mosque, you have been whatever, anywhere, every experience counts with Mastercard. So far, you are in charge of something. You direct people, you manage people, you coordinate people, you take leadership positions, you take decisions, and you are productive at whatever you are doing. So that makes you a good fit for Mastercard scholarship. So I would say your leadership experience and your academic credentials matter a lot with Mastercard. And if you eventually win this scholarship, like I said, you will become a baller, because even if you did not have international passport, Mastercard will definitely pay for it. I remember vividly, it's a very good story to tell. When I applied, when I got the Mastercard scholarship, and they emailed every one of us like, so we know you guys are preparing to come to Canada. We know you might need some money, and they just sent us money. I was like, who does that? Who gives you money in your own country, even before you leave? So, they gave me a lot of money that I was able to do, I was just able to spend anyhow I want. That's one. And if you, like I said, if you don't have passport, they will pay for it. The Uber I took to visa office, they paid for it. Your flight tickets, they will pay for it. When you get on campus, everything you need to settle. Just think of anything now. Now that's it. You'll get it. And in fact, there is what they call scholars support. There is all kind of all-round support for you. Financially, there is support because they pay your tuition, they pay for your feeding, they pay for your accommodation, they still give you stipend upon all that. They give you, wellness support. There are people who specialize in mental wellness, and, they just want you to be fine. There are academic advisors. Then there are people who advise you on your finances. And there are people who would help you. There are experiential advisors that will teach you how to write your resume, how to hunt for a job, how to prepare for post-graduation. Even after graduation, you are still eligible to contact them to review your CV. Even after leaving the whole, go to another school. I'm in another school now. I'm still enjoying Mastercard scholarship, because once a Mastercard scholar, he's always a Mastercard scholar. You understand? So even now, I can still send my CV to them, even though they would give priority to current scholars, but they will still attend to me at the end of the day. After graduation and all that, you will still be sponsored back to your own country and back again to Canada. Think about all these things. Everything you need to be a Canadian at the end of the day, don't worry, you will get it. So that's just Mastercard scholarship. Like, it's a very comprehensive scholarship. I call it the best scholarship in the whole world, even though Chevening scholars would argue. But then,
yeah, I mean, that's really great. So Mastercard scholarship is one scholarship that I think I would agree is one of the best scholarships out there. And people who are not aware of it, perhaps you through this medium you now know that you can apply. So can people still apply for the Mastercard scholarship? Are they still offering the scholarships?
So there is a lot of uncertainties about that, because the Mastercard scholarship was supposed to end its contract with UBC in 2020. So I don't know what happened. They actually started again in 2020. They brought in some scholars again. So we are expecting maybe in 2021. Now they've selected some scholars again. We are expecting them to come to Canada by August. And so if there is going to be another call for applications, then we should expect to hear from them by October, November this year. And at the end of the day, if you eventually submit an application by March, April, they select their scholars. One thing to note is that Mastercard scholarship does not end with UBC. There is Mastercard scholarship at McGill in Montreal. There is Mastercard scholarship at Edinburgh in the UK. Mastercard scholarship at UC Berkeley in the US. So you just have to visit their website to inform yourself.
Yeah, that's really great. I was going to ask that, is it only UBC you can come with the Mastercard scholarship? So there are other options that you can explore. Yeah, that's really great, and congratulations! You've completed your program at UBC and now at Memorial. Yeah. That's kind of I mean, I like that enthusiasm and the way you are exploring. And I want to believe that your studies at Memorial too is also funded. So yeah. Can you so just to remind people, so this is the admission that you got the same time you got Mastercard scholarship, and you deferred it. So now you've gone back to continue that program. So how do you fund your studies like with this one, since the prestigious Mastercard scholarship is no longer there? So yes.
Thank you so much. So there is something to learn in this my transition from UBC to Memorial. There is, in fact, not just something, there is a lot to learn from it. Because when I was at UBC, I was trying to negotiate with my supervisor at Memorial that instead of coming for another master's, I can easily come for a PhD immediately. So she told me that was how she got her own PhD, that she didn't do masters. But in my own case, that I have even done masters at UBC, I can come and change it to PhD at Memorial. But then she wants me to start first with a master's because she wants to assess me, and she would like to give the School of Graduate Studies, something to show that this person has done 1 year with me. Look at what he has done thus far. So there is a lot to learn from it. And one good thing is the communication. Because when I asked her that question, and she said that was how she got her own PhD at University of Toronto, she said, I offered you, this is a word, I offered you this position, not only because you had the highest CGPA as at the time of application, but also because you had the best email correspondence with me. So there is a formal way of approaching these people that will make you attractive. Academic, you know what I mean by academic attraction? They will just feel like, there is this idea that people have of Africans, that they probably do not know how to do things. They probably are living in some huts, in some villages. They probably are living in some, forest. But by the time you see someone that has had this kind of idea about you or thought about you, and you email such person, politely, officially, standard English and all that, and she was wowed. I am even thinking that.
So before you continue, I wanted to also, so that you put this into context. This is the person that has offered you admission.
Yeah.
And then you basically said you are not coming. And then you went for another program. So why, through all of these, why you are in another program for a whole year?
Yeah.
Or so, and you are still in communication with her, and eventually you went back to study under her. So try to put all of that into context as you explain why communication is important and how to present things.
Yes, how to present things. Okay, this is what happened. Right, I remember very well. I told you the other time that I got the Memorial admission and scholarship first, and to be clear, it's also funded, like beautifully funded. You know what I mean by beautifully funded? Even though my air ticket will not be, if I was coming from Nigeria, my air ticket will not be part of the funding, but it is something that is comparable to the Mastercard scholarship when you look at the financial reward. It is very comparable. So when I got that admission at MON, I accepted immediately because I wasn't even expecting Mastercard to get back to me like immediately. And just about 2 weeks after, Mastercard got back to me and they said yes. And I struggled with making a decision for almost a month or two. So around May, I had to email my professor. I didn't tell her the reason why I wasn't coming is because I want to go to another school. I just told her for now, for financial reasons, I'm not sure I'll be able to make it down to Memorial. And of course, that was valid because I had to look for air tickets. I had to pay for air ticket. I had to look for airfare. So for all of that, I just told her that I'm not sure. She said, so I kept the option very open. I didn't tell her I wasn't coming. I just told her I'll still be sourcing for funds. And she said, okay, I should just keep her updated. So by July, I already made up my mind. So by July, I just told her, I have a good news for you. Now, I think I'll be going to UBC, and UBC is paying my air ticket. Because at that first time, if I told her I'm not coming because I got UBC, there is this kind of feeling that she would have because she went all out for me then when I was applying to Memorial. But I knew very well that because she was funded by the government, the date by which she must get back to the government with the result of the research could be extended for many reasons if she is able to convince them. So I just told her, and I knew I was going to UBC for just 1 year. So even before I left Nigeria, I knew I was going to come back to Memorial. So I kept the communication going. Even when I got to UBC, I met you, right? At UBC. And when I met you, I asked you remember very well, every day we met, I will ask you about Memorial. I will ask you about Newfoundland. And all you were telling me then was that it's cold, and I don't like cold. I don't like snow. So, all those times when you were telling me, it was enough for me to say I wouldn't go. So even though I knew I might not go back to Memorial again, now that I'm in Canada, when you have, before you left Nigeria, you might have many plans. But the moment you land in Canada, your orientation will change. So I felt like I don't think I'll go to Memorial again, but notwithstanding, I'll still keep communicating with my advisor. Because she told me, these people, they would not make a promise that they cannot fulfill. When I told her I was deferring the admission, that UBC is just for 1 year, she told me blatantly that the school will not renew funding and that our funding cannot wait. So a typical Nigerian will not get back to her again. But I kept the communications going. When we were celebrating Remembrance Day in Canada, I sent email to her. Canada Day, I sent email to her. All of those things. I kept sending email to her. Christmas, I sent email to her. And she responded. And, she kept asking, how is your program going at UBC? So the Christmas email that I sent to her in 2019, December, I was in the UBC. She responded, I'm so happy to hear from you. Timmy, can you make time out to visit Newfoundland? Don't worry, I'll be your host. And I said, I wouldn't mind, even though I knew it was going to be snowing. So I just told her I wouldn't mind. And of course, I had the funds already. I was Mastercard scholar, So I had the funds. I can do anything I wanted. So I told her, and then she just said, but do you know that I still have a position for master's students? I don't know if you'll be interested, but since you have gone to UBC now, you have gone to a big school and all that. And I just told her, what is it about? And she told me the research, and it was perfectly what I wanted for my future. So I just told her, yes, I will come in. And that was how we reconnected. So it all boils down to keeping communications going. So, and I like the fact that anywhere we are together, when she wants to introduce me, she always say that thing about me to many people that this guy, there is something special about him. I never believed he would come back to Memorial. And he came back, not just because of me, but because he has passion for what I am doing. So, and she keeps saying it, that in graduate school, Mr. Aina would testify to this as well. In graduate school, it will get to a point that nothing will make sense to you again. And it will remain just your passion. In fact, your passion will be threatened when everything goes south, research is not something you plan and it happens all the way down like that. Things change. You might plan to spend 2 years for masters and end up spending 3.5 years. Ask people doing research. You might want to spend 4 years doing PhD and end up spending 6 to 7, So a lot of things change, but the only thing that will remain is your own passion for what you are doing. Because if you cannot see that passion in that thing, I know many Nigerians want to come to Canada, want to go to the US just to japa and all that. But at the end of the day, when you get in here, all of those travels, all of those seeing beautiful things in the US, in Canada and all that will not make sense again. When your research is not making sense. And the only thing that will remain is your passion. Imagine if you did not have passion in the first instance. So, that's what leads to depression, frustration, and all that. So, it's all about communication.
Yeah, that's a very key point. And communication from the onset, when you did not even know the professor, is good. Your first contact with the professor usually is you just send a cold email. So it's always good to have a good way of presenting things. So yeah, thank you very much. Just as we're about rounding everything up here. So essentially, the aim of this is to create awareness for people and to to at least for those who are planning to come to Canada. And I emphasize Canada because I will tell you the truth. If you ask me, if you want to live in Nigeria or any other place, you want to go abroad to study, I will just tell you, don't bother about anywhere else. Just come to Canada. You see, when you come to Canada, there's just everything just follows. Like everything follows. You get more than education in Canada. You get a life afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay, you get a complete. So it's a complete package. It's not just your degree. So, and that is very important to think about while you're planning to go to abroad to study. So I am a Canadian evangelist. So I don't talk about going to anywhere else to study. And the reason is because coming to Canada is what I've gone through. So if I'm telling you about how to study in USA, I am only telling you something that I have not done. Okay, I can read a lot about it. I can have people who have done it, but coming to Canada, I have gone through the process, right? So, and I know that it has been beneficial, and you can also attest to that. Just like in a very quick way, can you just tell us like other opportunities that people can have, can take off? Other opportunities that are in Canada that people who want to come and study and they cannot, pay for their education. So what are the other sources of funding that people can look at, or maybe if there are resources you can refer them to and all of that?
Yeah, so this is what I tell people. You shouldn't just say, I'm going for Mastercard scholarship alone, or I'm just going to keep emailing professors blindly. So what I usually advise people is to search. There is a lot of loads of information online. So what I did in my own when I was applying was I had the list of a list of every university in Canada, all of them. So I now looked at regions, what we call provinces in Canada. I looked at the provinces and I selected one or two universities in those provinces. And I checked what opportunities do international students have here. So what is common to all of the universities in Canada is cold email. Like you can email a professor and does that email will change your life. But the problem is people do it wrongly. Imagine someone emailing a professor and telling such professor, good day, Professor Timileyin, I really love your lab and I want to come down there. Do you have a space? I want to be a master's student. Writing emails like you are just talking to your friend. So a lot of researchers do not get reward for what they do everywhere. Sometimes research is not rewarding. Sometimes. So the only way it is rewarding for these professors is when people eulogize them for what they have done. So why not pick one or two of their publications, recent ones? Look at their research trajectory. Look at the trends. Look at gaps in those research and then present it to them. I read your so-so paper of 2019, so. I found out that your result is so fascinating. I would like to ask questions. In fact, go ask for MSc first and try and see if they will respond or not. Ask questions. What you don't understand about their research. When they see people engage with what they've done, we researchers usually think they are just in a small world. The people in chemistry, they are just within the confine of chemistry. The people in physics, they are within the confine of physics. People in geology within the confine of geology. Imagine someone coming from anywhere in the world and tell you, I read this. Just look at how happy you would be. It would be delighting, right? To hear that someone read my paper. You know, so, and you present it to them. I read this and it's fascinating. I have a degree in so. And I'm actually looking for a master's degree opportunity. Do you have a space in your lab? You know, this kind of, you know, there is a subtle way of making a request by first appreciating what someone has done, because research is hard work, right? And you know, the only way professors get the reward is the fund, grants, and all that. Big name. But what is the big name if people are not talking about what they have done, or if it is not being moved forward? So they are looking for people with inquisitive minds that want to do something with whatever. So the Codeman is the best shot anywhere in the world. It's the best shot that you can have, that's the best thing you can do to attract the attention of a professor. So apart from that, you can always go, like I said the first time, you can always go look at the university's website, look at your own department on that website, look at what they are offering international students. I mean, it might sound tedious, but it's the hard work you have to do. Nobody can actually do that for you.
Yeah, that's yeah, I agree. So yeah, there are many opportunities in Canada to explore, and I think both of us are testimonies of you know, this funding. So we left our respective home country and we came to Canada. I've been in Canada for 5 years and I've been studying throughout these 5 years. And trust me, I've never participated in the, you know, in the labor market. So it's the government or the university that has been funding my studies. So so you can also take the opportunity. You know, you have enjoyed Mastercard scholarship, and you are currently in another program that is fully funded. So we are not talking about theory. We are talking about something that is practical and something that we've done. So and I would like to just make a point. You know, personally, I offer myself, and I don't know if you too, you know, if anyone has, like, you know, questions about what you need to do, or you are doing something, how to do it better, or how to find this or how to find that, you know, you can always email me. You can email me, or in any way, I will be ready to chat with whoever and to discuss. So there's always that opportunity. We also wish, so there's something that, you know, since we came to Canada, at least from my own perspective, you know, we experienced that, you know, there are not many people like us here, especially where I am. And so we want you people to come and join us, so that we can bring all those experiences that we have back home. We bring it to Canada. So yeah, thank you very much. Is there any other thing that you would like to talk about? You've really shared, like, I mean, a great experience of yours. How you came about, you know, your scholarships, how you came to Canada, and, you know, what people can do to study in Canada. And we understand that, yeah, it's very expensive to study in Canada, but there are many scholarship opportunities. So there's a lot to talk about, but, you know, in one sitting, you cannot talk about everything. So hopefully we can have, you know, this chat again with you or any other person.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you very much. Anything?
Yeah. So what I would just say is that some people wait for the perfect time to apply. There is no perfect time to reach out to professors. There is no perfect time to apply for scholarships. And there is no perfect time to do nothing. So what you want to do is that right where you are now, start doing something. If it is to get your transcript, your student's copy, get it. If it is to do anything. So now you have finished school, you were probably serving, and you feel that you are not enough. Just make sure that you are not sitting down idle. If it is internship you want to get, go get it. Even if you want to start master's degree in Nigeria, start it. Even if you want to start volunteering with an organization, start it. Just don't stop, because at the end of the day, the professor is giving you an opportunity. They finally respond to your email. They will ask you, what do you do now? What would you say? So make sure you are busy doing something, and that thing be something that will help your application at whatever point you are.
Yeah, well said. Well said. So yeah, we can only wish everyone the best luck in in the application. And there's one other point that I like to just corroborating what you just said. There is no way you can get the admission or the scholarship if you don't apply. Not applying is a guarantee that you will not get the scholarship.
Sure.
But if you do apply, you have that,
possibility.
No matter how small, you have that possibility, you have that probability of getting the admission and getting the scholarship. So it is a huge point that, I like to encourage that go and apply for the scholarship, go and apply for the admission. And there's no reason why you should not get it. You will get it. Apply to many schools and you will definitely get one of them. All right. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.